Okay, I think we'll make a start. As I said, my name's Mike Cragen from the New England Northwest BEC. We'd also just like to recognise that this particular webinar series has been provided by the Australian Small Business Advisory Service program, a federal government program, and it's the Innovative Digital Business Solutions program. So this is giving us the funding to actually create this series. So what's today going to be about? It's about how to get authentic Facebook likes. It's going to tell you how and when you should boost a post feature, and also how to set up a Facebook advertising campaign to reach your prospective customers. Now, in these webinars, we have people who are usually right at the beginner's end, and we have had some people who are quite experienced and doing it. So please bear with us that we are going back and covering some basic data, but I'm sure there's going to be some great words of wisdom in there by David for the people who are already using Facebook. So I'd like to just give a little introduction to our presenter today, David Livingston from Monofit Connect. Now, David's done a number of jobs for us, and we are very happy with the quality of his work. But David is a specialist, regionally located business focusing on providing digital marketing solutions to regional small and medium businesses. So more than just website provision, David and his business focuses on how to target your customers through the implementation of industry standard online marketing strategies. And I can also say that there are a number of people who claim to know what they're doing in this area, but just don't stand up to the actual tests and the results. So I can testify that David is a person who knows what he's talking about and can provide you with advanced analytic capabilities to help you make sure you get your business out there. Again, I make reference to right back on the very first webinar we did, that businesses that are digitally engaged are almost twice as likely to be creating a 20% increase in profit. They are 4 times more likely to be engaging staff, and they'll be making money, whereas sadly there's some other people who are, their business is not going ahead. So we strongly urge you to listen to what David has to say. David will also be available to take phone calls, private phone calls to his business. I'll mention it again at the end of the webinar, but if you have a pen and paper ready now, his number is 1300 353 947. And you could also email David direct after this webinar. His direct email is david@monofitconnect, that's MONFIACONNECT just.com, not AU. So I'll take this opportunity to pass you over to David. So David, a warm welcome to you.
Hello, Mike. Thank you for the introduction. Hello, everyone. As Mike said, my name is David Livingston from Monofit Connect, and I'd like to extend that welcome from Mike to everyone here today. It's very exciting to be talking about promoting your business through Facebook. Facebook's such a key part of everyday life for most Australians now, and it's great to be walking through the baby steps of getting your business up and running on Facebook. So in this webinar today, we'll be taking a quick look at how to effectively advertise and promote our businesses through Facebook. In particular, we'll be covering, as Mike mentioned earlier, how to get these authentic Facebook likes, when we should be using the boost and post feature, how to set up Facebook advertising campaigns to reach our prospective customers. But the first question that arises is, why should I promote my business through Facebook? So I think I'll just go over a few quick numbers here to give us an idea of just how big and vast Facebook has become. Currently, Facebook has 1.5 billion users worldwide, which is over half of the global population that uses the internet. Nearly 1 billion of these accounts are logged onto every single day. It's huge. Approximately 91% of millennials, that is people aged 15 to 34, use Facebook. In Australia, according to the latest e-commerce report from Census, of the small to medium businesses that use social media, over 90% of them are using Facebook. And it's no wonder why, as Facebook is one of the easiest and cheapest ways to build your business's online profile. However, like all advertising, not all publicity can be good publicity. And so today I'll be walking you through each step on how to effectively use Facebook advertising to build a positive online profile. We'll quickly review some of the basics of the advertisement and how they work, with the aim of being for you to walk away from this webinar knowing the fundamentals of running a great Facebook campaign. In this webinar, we'll not only look at how to create ads on Facebook, but also how to evaluate their success by viewing the reports and refining them based on the metrics. At the end of this webinar, we'll spend a bit of time to go through any questions that you may have. In this webinar, we'll also explore what makes a good ad and review some of the tweaks that you can make to increase your performance. So without further delay, let's get started. The first question that we're going to address is how to get authentic Facebook likes. Now, Facebook is in essence a social network. A good way to visualize this is a set of spheres of influence. Each Facebook member has a user profile that is connected with a certain number of Facebook friends. These friends in essence form a network which acts as a sphere of influence. This sphere of influence may depend on how active you are, how much you post, how many friends you have, but ultimately who you are friends with on Facebook will ultimately overlap with who others are friends with on Facebook. And eventually, at least in theory, all the 1.5 billion Facebook users will either be connected indirectly or directly, as sort of represented in a simple way in our Venn diagram here. What this means is that Facebook can act as a catalyst for spreading of material and ideas. For example, in our diagram, Sophie could theoretically share some content which would then be shared by John. And even though Sophie isn't friends with Margaret, Margaret would be able to see Sophie's post through John, effectively widening Sophie's sphere of influence. Now, this might sound a little bit complex, but in essence, friends and contacts, and in the case of your business page, likes, become the basis for initially promoting your business beyond your immediate friend list. Assuming that you already have a private Facebook page, which I'm sure many of you do, and if you don't, now's an excellent time to get on. You would also have a pre-existing friend list. Now, one of the easiest steps to get people to like your business page, this might sound simple, but it's amazing how many small businesses haven't done this. One of the easiest steps to get people to like your business page is to simply invite them to do so. This might be employees or co-workers or families or friends. But to do this, all we have to do is navigate to our business's Facebook page. In this case, we're going to be using the Coca-Cola business page. And then down the left-hand side of the screen, there'll be a red circle. There won't be a red circle. As circled in red here, we can simply click Invite Friends to like this page. What this then brings up is an Invite Friend window. Now, your list would be a bit more populated than this one, but for privacy purposes, I've blocked out mine. But what we do here is simply go down and select each friend that we want to invite to like our page. After we've selected which friends that we want to invite, we move down to the bottom right-hand corner of that screen and hit Send Invites, once again circled in red. This is one of the easiest and quickest methods for developing your initial business's Facebook following. However, it doesn't end there. As well as inviting friends to like your business's page, we can also share your page as a post. What share allows you to do is create a post about your Facebook page to either share it on your own timeline, your own private Facebook page, that is, as well as a friend's timeline, your group's timeline if you are part of any group on Facebook, on another page you might manage, so this might be another business that you're a part of or a non-for-profit, or even as a private message. To do this, we navigate to our Facebook's page again, and if you're following along on your own, now might be a good time to catch up and go to your business Facebook page and start following this procedure. And we simply move over to the right-hand side of the screen, and there'll be 3 dots down the right-hand side, as seen on this slide. We click on this, and this opens up a drop-down menu for us. We simply move down to share, press it, and then we have another pop-up window come up. At the top of the window, we have another drop-down menu. By clicking on it, we can decide exactly where we'd like to share this post to, with the options to publish, as I mentioned earlier, on your own timeline. This comes up on your private Facebook page, a friend's, a group's, another page we might manage, and once again, as a private message. Once we've selected where we want to share this post to, we have a text box that allows us to comment in the area that is circled. This might be an excellent opportunity to fill in this comment here if you're following along. Once we've written our comment, all we have to do is select post at the bottom right-hand corner. Now, as well as working through our friend list to invite Facebook likes, we can also choose to promote our page. This can be a complex procedure. However, due to restrictions on time, I'll be showing you a simple and really straightforward way to advertise your page. Now, once again, if you're following along, navigate back to your Facebook's page. From your Facebook page, you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner an option to promote, as seen circled in the slide. From the promote button, we're given the option to either promote your call to action, promote your website, and promote your page. For this exercise, I'll be selecting promote your page. However, I'd strongly recommend that you take time to learn the other 2 options, as they may become the most powerful tools on Facebook for converting customers. After we selected promote your page, we're given this dialog box. Now, it is worth noting here that as a business, you understand your product and why people are using it. You also know who your customer is. By running your business every day, by opening your doors to your brick and mortar store, you're effectively surveying the world to see who is interested in your product and who simply isn't. When we take our products and services to the online community through Facebook, effectively the same thing is happening. Facebook is surveying its 1.5 billion users every moment of every day to see who is exactly interested in what, meaning that Facebook works hard to effectively do some of the hard yards for us. Facebook knows people. Facebook allows you to pinpoint your audience and expand your marketing reach, and this is where paid promotions can become extremely powerful. Facebook will even tailor which ads a potential user is exposed to and when they're exposed to these ads. This might sound a little bit Big Brother-like and a little bit scary, but based on the posts that users can make, Facebook can tailor which ads a user is seeing and when. So say, for example, if a Facebook user posts about their big night out, Facebook has the capacity these days to know that it should show ads about aspirin, Berocca, and paracetamol the next day to that user. Facebook can tailor delivery of ads based on demographics, geographic segmentations, psychographic segmentation, and behavioral segmentation. However, we also have some control over these variables. In the promote page window, we have the control to decide exactly where to promote our page. This could be a town, a city, a country, or across several countries, maybe based on culture or language. Just below that, down the left-hand side of the screen, we also have the option to target people with specific interests, as well as the age and the gender. The more you know your market here, the more precise you can be about these details, the more effective your advertisements will be. As the aim here is to present your business and products to people who are genuinely interested in them. However, I would recommend a minimum of about 4 interests per promotion and a maximum of about 10. This is where knowing your market can really pay off and save you money and make your Facebook ads much more effective. In the next section, we have the ability to set our daily advertising budget. If we click the drop-down arrow on the daily advertising budget, we can see what Facebook estimates will be the number of likes we'll be receiving for each budget. Now, this is only an estimate, it's not guaranteed. Now, just below that, we can also set the duration of the ads by either running it for a certain number of days or until a specified time. Now, down the right-hand side of the screen, we have the ad design itself. By default, the display image is your header image for your site. However, this can be simply edited by clicking on the Edit button at the top right-hand side of the screen, as seen in the slide, circled in red. If you're following along, now's a great time to click on it. After clicking on the Edit button, our screen changes to this. Here, we can change our tagline by editing the area circled in red. We'll be going through a little bit later in this webinar when we're talking about posts, a bit of a few handy hints on what you should be putting as your text here. Below the text, we can also change our image. We can reposition it, we can select it, and we can even upload from our computer. After our ad is made, we can simply click Save at the top right-hand side of the screen, and then Promote at the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Now, building the ad, targeting it is only half the picture here. We also need to know how the ad's going and how it's performing. To check the performance of the promotion, and once again, if you're following along on your own, go back to your own business page now. Now, on the center of your business page, there'll be the option Publishing Tools, as circled here in red. This will then give us a list of each promotion we make, from which we can click on individual promotions to see the depths of performance. Now, after that, the next part of attracting likes and interest to your Facebook page is through posts. Now, I'm sure all of you have sent out a post through Facebook, through your own private pages so far, but the question that I'd like to throw out to you is, how many of you have actually posted on your Facebook page yet? How many of you have actually posted on your Facebook page yet? It's such a critical aspect of your Facebook page, as posts are updates that enable you to share content, including text and photos and videos, as well as links to other sites, as well as events and offers. For example, we could send out a post about your recent job that you've just completed, an article relevant to your industry, or maybe information on a new product that you have released. Posts are the way in which you communicate with your fans and tell your business's story. There are many different types of posts, but in this webinar we'll be going through how to create a basic post along with paying to promote that post. If you navigate to your Facebook page, down the right side of the screen, a circle near our slide, we have the post tool. To set up an effective post that is going to reach your audience, we need to keep several things in mind. The first is that a post actually needs to be interesting. It needs to be something that people are actually interested in. When posting, don't aim to simply increase your brand or business awareness, but rather aim to be relevant. The question here is, how many posts do you engage with on Facebook? What businesses stand out? Keep in mind what you've seen worked for other businesses and try to mimic it. Also, your posts need to meet your branding guidelines. People will judge your company based on the quality of your posts. Another thing to note here is that in the post world, pictures really do speak 1,000 words, or almost. Pictures and images get on average 53% more likes than just plain text, and on average 104% more comments and 84% more click-throughs. These numbers are staggering, but we also have to keep in mind that we still need to convey a message. One of the best ways to do this would be to incorporate words into your image. A great example of this is the John Deere ad. The aim of this post was simply to get more likes for the John Deere page, or even the Nature Box ad. Now, this is a great time if you have a graphic designer to be utilizing them to increase your brand awareness on Facebook. Another thing to keep in mind when writing posts is that more is not always more. Posts with 80 characters or less get 66% more engagement than posts with 40 characters. Sorry, 66% more engagement than posts with more. And posts with less than 40 characters get 86% more engagement than posts with more characters. Here we see a graph sort of following the average amount of engagement for the length of each post. Keep in mind here that concise is best. People don't necessarily want to engage with very long posts on Facebook. The next thing to note that color matters. When we're designing our post, we need to make it pop. We need to make it stand out. Usually when people are browsing Facebook, they're in a very suggestive state, but we need to be catching their eye as they scroll down through their news feeds. We could go a fair amount of detail and depth on this point, but the main thing to keep in mind is that we want our post to stand out. We want our call to action, or the main point of our post, to stand out even more. Typically, marketers do this by using complementary colors for the call to action sections in order to maximize the color contrast. Question posts also get on average 100% more comments than simple statements. Not only this can be a platform for performing market research, but users are almost under compulsion to answer a question once it has been posed to them. And for the perfectionists out there, if you're wanting to go viral, it needs to be highly emotive. The key to really using Facebook to its true capacity of spreading a story is to send out viral posts, which is why so many large corporations are working so hard to get their posts to be viral. However, in local communities, small businesses may in fact have an advantage in the sense that you can personalize your posts and thus directly tap into each person's sphere of influence. One of the best posts that we've seen locally is ones which tap into that human aspect. Now, these don't go viral on an international level, but on a local level, they can rampage through a town. Now, to build our post, if you're following along, jump back to your main Facebook page, to your business's Facebook page. then go down to the right corner of it, as seen circled here. We have the option to enter text into the text box, as we mentioned earlier, including any links, and we can also drag images to this section to build our post. If you're following along, now might be a good time to have a quick go at typing in a basic post. Now, once we've built our post, we can look at paying to make that post go beyond our immediate sphere of influence. To do this, simply click the Boost Post feature at the bottom of the Post tool. This then opens an ad control page, which we're already familiar with. Once again, work from the top left down. We'll have audience. Here we can control who or which people are going to see our ad. We can say where we want them to be, and we can also say whether we want people who are already liking our page to see it. We can select people who like your page and add friends with people who like your page, or people who we just want to target, once again, through their likes or through their locations. Remember here, the more specific we can be about our audience, the greater the payoff will be. Below that, we have, once again, our budget and duration. Now, remember, the longer our ads run, the more effective we can be at gauging their performance. Short-run ads might give us skewed perspectives one way or another to how effective the Facebook advertising is. Once we've set our budget, we can simply move across to the bottom right-hand side of the screen and hit Set Budget. My recommendation is that when we boost posts, it's important to only boost posts where we can measure the return on investment. That is, we need to set a goal for running posts. When we're throwing money at advertising, we need to actually have some sort of idea of what we're trying to gain from it, whether it's likes, whether it's purchases from our website that we're trying to push people through to, or whether it's maybe subscriptions to our newsletter. The key here is don't just put money into advertising. Set a goal, set something that we're aiming to attain or measure, and then boost accordingly. Another tool that Facebook provides us with for the purpose of measuring and tracking the performance of our campaigns over time is the Insights tool. If we're following along, now is a great time to navigate back to your business's Facebook page. Now, in the center of your business's Facebook page, we have Insights right at the top. If we click on the Insights, we're brought up with this next page. Now here we can view the overview of our page, the amount of likes that we're getting, the reach of our posts, as well as the engagement of videos. This brings us up with a whole range of metrics and graphs to track the performance of our Facebook page over time. It's great to take some time to familiarize yourself with this page. It's simple, it's nicely laid out, and will give us much insight to who is exactly engaging with our brand on Facebook. This actually wraps up our webinar for this morning, which gives us plenty of time to go through any questions. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this quick overview of Facebook promotion. I'm keen to discuss any questions you might have further. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that, David. That was very good. Do you have any just sort of one or two just massive important pieces of advice for people who are reasonably experienced with Facebook to take them to the next level? What you've mentioned to us has been fantastic, but for someone who's maybe has been using Facebook, what sort of gems of wisdom could you probably add to them to take them to the next level?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mike. I think the main tools of just sending out posts and continual information is really important, and we need to be continually engaging with our Facebook community who's liking our page. That's really important for gaining presence over time. I think the tools of events and call to actions, though, which we didn't actually go into a huge amount of depth in this webinar, are really, really important as well. And I'd love to actually talk about those in greater depth later on. But they're key tools to actually really pushing how effective our Facebook pages are. The other thing too is how are you trying to capture an audience? I think it's I don't actually have the stats on me at the moment, but the amount of engagement that millennials, especially these people aged 15 to 34, have on Facebook actually shoots through the roof when we introduce video. The aim of being on Facebook is to stand out. We need to actually have that color to our brand to actually pop out a little bit, and delivering information is the key. And so I'd recommend actually trying to jazz up your posts, step into things which are slightly different and slightly more out there, and use video if that's possible for you.
Okay.
Is that
that's fine.
Answer your question?
Yep, David, I'd also just like to again make reference to one of the big surveys, the big accounting firms, Deloitte, that ran a digital survey. Their evidence showed that people who just have a website and it's digitally engaged and search engine optimized, whatever is fine, but if that same business has, and they did specifically mention Facebook as social media, their business effectiveness grew to an exponential level. And also, if that same business also used other mediums as well, for example, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever, there's a whole broad range of them, again, their overall business engagement increased. So I think the other message that that we can sort of just remind people who have not maybe listened to those couple of early webinars is to make sure that there is some sort of correlation between your website, your Facebook, and other types of social media. And I would also, again, just give a plug to Ingrid Roth from Vivid Marketing that we work with. She's also strongly suggests and helps us to have a bigger picture, a longer marketing strategy, so that there is some rhyme and reason and logic between what you're doing, what promotions, what you're advertising, what you're posting. Now, there's another question that's just been sitting here that I'll put to you. It's from a lady, Brooke, and she asks, how many posts are too many, or what would you recommend is a good frequency to post on your business page? So maybe if you could just address that question from Brooke, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Brooke, for that one. It's a really good question. Honestly, I'd be aiming to post absolutely every single day. I'd be aiming to post at times when our market is, or the people who are following our page are most likely to be using it. This is usually typically between about 3 and 6 o'clock in the afternoon. However, once again, spamming continual posts isn't that effective. So the aim here is continual. So every day be bringing out relevant information, but at the same time focus on quality. If you can only bring out a good post every second day, but it's much clearer and more effective, I'd be aiming to do that. Does that? I hope that sort of answers your question. More is better, but really instead of big spurts, span them out over time. If you have a bank of posts to send out, then it's best to actually schedule them, which Facebook allows you to do. You can actually tell them to be sent out over a week. One of the tips that I do with clients is actually to set up, 20 odd posts, and we'll schedule them to come out over different days, especially when we're running different promotions to keep in step with the store. Another point which I think sort of resonates with what you said, Mike, which is really helpful to remember here, is that when we're building an online profile, consistency across that online profile is key. Like all marketing efforts, we want them to be in line with our guidelines. We want it to all be saying the same message. And one of the best ways to be engaging our audience with Facebook is to have it linked in with our website, synchronized with our website, pulling from the website database. There's actually tools and techniques these days where you can post these blogs from your website directly to your Facebook page, which might limit some of your control, but the idea is that you've got this consistency across all your social networking platforms, whether it be Twitter or Instagram or Pinterest or LinkedIn or Facebook. I think that sort of wraps up that question.
Okay, I've got two other pieces of wisdom. These are for the people who are probably quite engaged and using Facebook already to a high standard. There's two things that I'd like to say. Now, we don't have any financial interest or kickback in this. I'm just sort of making these comments for people who want to go to the next level. We were fortunate enough to go to a breakfast about 6 weeks ago, which was hosted by the National Bank, who do have a leaning towards assisting small businesses. And at that presentation, we were introduced. I have heard of this organization before, but there's an organization called Tiger Pistol. Now, if you do a web search on them, they are reasonably expensive. We are talking about maybe $100, $150 a month. But what they will do is have a facility whereby they can look at your history of your Facebook postings, and their software identifies for you at the time when you were getting the most engagements, the best where people liked them and people shared them. And also from the wealth of the knowledge of their other customers, they then build or probably a schedule or a calendar to give you the idea of when you should be making posts and also ads to your direct clients. So they might say at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, you get the most business engagements, and Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, you get the most engagements from this. Now, what is really exciting, I can also say that the Business Enterprise Centre has taken up a 3-month trial, and we have already increased our likes by nearly close to 150, 160 people over 6 weeks, which we are very happy about. But the most exciting thing is that the National Bank have commissioned a very large piece of software. They reckon it's 300,000-400,000. And if you make a deposit in the National Bank, and again, as I said, I don't have any financial interest, whatever, but if you do deposit some money into the National Bank, they allow you to take advantage of this other massive piece of software. You have to have a minimum of 1,000 Facebook likes on your business page, but what it's doing, it's monitoring all social media in Australia. So you think about what sort of the complexity of a piece of software to monitor that. But then your business gives the National Bank software people the parameters that you're monitoring. And for us, the Business Enterprise Centre, it could be things like start a business, grow a business, business problems, how do I solve this? And then it will bring up a dashboard that shows every person in Australia who's making a post or a comment on any medium, making a positive, neutral, or negative remark, that you can immediately go in and respond to that. So that is a very, very powerful piece of software. The Business Enterprise Centre will be or has taken steps to take advantage of that. And if anyone wants to go ahead and just check out that Tiger Pistol, please do. I also do know that there are a number of other people in this same space providing this service. So if anyone wants some other recommendations, send me an email and I can privately send you some other recommendations. You can actually send that to ceo@bec.com.au and we can give you a short list of other people to consider. But please note that, you know, we are making these recommendations in good faith, and we don't have any financial interest or gesture. Now, look, the other thing that I'd like to just take this opportunity to let everyone know, again, for the people who, there was a number of people who came in a little bit late, so I'll just repeat that if anyone wants to make a private direct call to David at any stage and engage him to have a talk to you about your Facebook programs, David's number is 1300 353 947 and his email address is david@monafitconnect, that's MONFIACONNECT.com, and there is no .au on that. Now look, there's another, I'm just scanning a couple of other things there. We also just let everyone know that as a part of the Business Enterprise Centre's ongoing service, which is provided under the Small Biz Connect program and also under our ASBAS program, which is the innovative digital business solutions program, and we've got lots of great products that are currently being developed in that area. These are electronic programs to help you start a business and watch videos. We have another one to help you create a business plan and move forward. There's also, I'll stop, and David, have you got something to say? I'll just quickly read a couple of questions here, if I may.
Oh, no, I think what you said earlier was extremely helpful, Mike. Another tool that I'd like to really mention quickly would be HootSuite, which, you know, once again allows you to have that. I'm not plugging, I'm not getting a kickback here, but it allows you to manage multiple social networking sites and view those metrics from a central location, which is really, really helpful. And once again, you know, stagger posts, which is, you know, consistency on your posts is almost more important than, you know, big spurts once a month. We also have another question from Brooke here. I know some businesses get a third party to post their Facebook page or on their Facebook page, and this person may be posting on behalf of a dozen different businesses. Is this something you would recommend, or do you think a small business is best to post for themselves? I think the answer there, Brooke, is, you know, use discernment. I mean, if someone's a professional in that area, if they've got proven results from their posts, if they know what they're doing, if they can carry your brand image really well, engage with your clients, sure, go for it, that's fine. But that might actually work better than you if, you know, you struggle with sort of chucking out the content and the posts each week. But yeah, it's really just sort of a wisdom call on that one. Going, you know, what works best? Does this person really know what they're doing? I think would be the answer for that one.
Yeah, I would just like to add to that and say that, you know, whatever is posted on your business Facebook page is, whether you like it or not, perceived as an official statement on behalf of your business. So that's also why businesses need to, larger businesses with a number of people also need to have a Facebook policy as to who is allowed to make comments on behalf of the business and what are those comments allowed to be about. We, as a business advisor, have come across people who have had some issues in this area. So we would also then just make a suggestion that you don't just get someone to make posts for you, but you read them for content and also are the words yours? Is it the ethos and the flavor and the, you know, is it the meaning of your business? And we have another person that we can thoroughly recommend, and that's Annie Keegan. who is a communications expert, and she again could probably help you with questions and comments in this area. But the way that you present yourself to a business is very, very important. I just have a couple of quick questions, or two quick questions I'd like to ask the people. Again, we're finding that we are always getting new people to these webinars, but we have a number of people now that have attended a lot of the seminars, webinars. My question is, what is the best time for you for webinars? We did a survey last year, and this Tuesday morning was perceived as the best time for a lot of people, but we are very flexible. We're also thinking of maybe doing one after hours. So if you have a time frame that would suit you the best, please let us know. And as I said earlier, we are taking steps to have all the previous webinars recorded, and this one has been recorded as well. Thank you. And we'll be making these available to our valued clients. Now, the other question I'd like to put forward to you is that we are also concurrently developing an ongoing strategy of topics for webinars. Now, if there's anyone out there who has a hot topic and you'd say, I'd really love to get some more information on this particular subject, general subject matter in the small business space, please let us know, and you might be able to, you will be able to influence our thinking. Okay, so are there any other comments or questions of our clients out there that you would like to take this opportunity to ask David, or myself for that matter, before we wind this up? It's we're showing us 10:17, so we've probably got another 5-10 minutes before we move on. So are there any other questions that you'd like to put forward to us? There's another one coming in there, how to make videos for our Facebook posts. Now, it also just happens to be that David is also quite an accomplished videoer and video editor. Now, if anyone would like to engage David directly, I can put in a plug in here that we had a 16-day course videoed by 2 cameras, and we're in the process of putting together a online start a business course where people can log in under a membership site and get access to something like, well, there's a huge number there. We are talking in the hundreds of little videos and PDFs and audios that people can get their own small business advice 24/7. So, and that's going to be released in the not too distant future. So, David, is there anything else that you would like to add before we consider winding this up?
I think just on the video post as well. If you're just a small business, you're starting out, you can't afford to necessarily getting a proper videographer with all the nice effects and put together really nice advertising video for your Facebook page. Another way to do it might be to simply build videos through screen captures. So actually, present your information on the screen on your computer and put together little bundles by yourself. There's a whole range of free tools and tools out there to do this online. I can shoot through a list of those later on, but that's actually a really powerful way to do it, and a really cost-effective way which can still look quite professional. If that sort of helps with that one a little bit more too on Annie's question.
Okay, well, look, as I said, I wholeheartedly endorse the work that David does. He's very skilled in this area. The BEC does not get any sort of kickback, commission, whatever. I probably wish we did, but no, we don't. But we just can recommend that if you would like to ask David to do some or to help you with Facebook and or with some video work and or with some of his web services as well, please just make contact with him direct, and I wish you all the best. Thanks again for tuning in. We are building up quite a number of people here now who are regular attendees, and please pass it on to your friends. And we can verify that by using Facebook, we are actually increasing our reach to more clients and customers out there. So have a good day, and if you have any questions, queries, concerns, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Business Enterprise Centre. So with that, I will terminate the webinar. So all the best.